All right, guys, welcome to this part of the training where we're going to talk around time management. Look, your ability to manage your time will directly correlate to the amount of policies that you sell. I know you know that, but sometimes we don't think about it too much, and we think that for us to get to that next level in our sales, we need to get better at overcoming objections, or we need more leads. But sometimes, guys, we've got all of that, but what we're not thinking about is what we're spending time on that's essentially wasting our time, that's not getting us closer to our goals, or what we're not spending our time on that if we did, we would essentially get closer to our goals. Okay, and so my hope of this video is to help you have an inside look into what it means to manage your time. Because here's the deal, guys. We get the choice. Success is a choice, and you learning to manage your time and get the most out of the time that you have every day is a choice. But sometimes we don't think about it as a choice because we're in such a pattern that we show up to work and we do the same thing every day. We open up our email, we let our email dictate our day, we answer the phone call that's coming into the office, and we let the phone dictate our day. That, if you're like me, early on as a team member, I realized that there was so much going on, so much that required my time and energy, right? I'm working on a new business quote, and we got a newer team member that's asking me a question, or I'm working on that new business quote and there's a customer that comes into the office that needs help with a payment, or that phone call rings. Guys, look, your days are busy, right? There's a lot going on. You are, if you are a sales team member and you're writing all lines and you're not just a specialist in a few lines, think about it. You're trying to write auto and grow auto. You're trying to write fire and grow fire. You're trying to write life, grow life, write health and grow health. And if you're also helping out with service, you're servicing the customers, and you're trying to balance writing all of this new business, but also running appointments and running these lists. Like, it can be overwhelming. Okay, my hope today is to really boil down to what matters, okay? And provide a few tools and resources that can help you figure out where you can make things a little bit more efficient for yourself, or help you understand, oh my gosh, these are the things I've been working on and it's taking all of this time, but it's not getting me anywhere. Or here are some things that I haven't even considered working on, let alone how to make sure that I get those done every day. Okay, so time management and productivity. The first thing I want you to think about is, in order for you to manage your time, in order for you to be the most productive, I believe that you need to revisit your why. What is it that drives you? What is that reason? Okay, and I don't want you to be superficial and say, hey, Coulter, I want to make more money. That's what I'm in this for, okay? Although that might be a reason, that a driving force for you or a why for you is that you want to make more money, I want you to dive a little bit deeper. Stop being so surface level, right? What about making money is important to you, okay? And so the first thing, again, guys, is you need to identify your why do you do what you do, okay? And there's an exercise here called 7 Levels Deep. I would encourage you to take some time and go through that exercise with yourself. It will help you stop staying so surface level with your why and get down to the emotional reason that this season in your life is truly what gets you to do the hard things. It's what gets you to have the conversation even though you don't feel like it. It's what gets you to wake up even though you don't feel like it. It gets you to do things that align with your goals even if you don't feel like it. Okay? So in order for you to manage your time and manage it in the most efficient and effective way possible, you need to define your why. You need to have that driving force. Okay? Now, that why changes at different seasons of life. For example, when I was 20 years old, knocking doors in Tulsa, Oklahoma, as a single dude trying to make some money, what motivated me then, the root of my why, was different than it is now as a husband and a father of 2 kids, right? There's different things that drive me now that didn't drive me then, and vice versa. And so it's important to really revisit that why and figure out what it is that motivates you, because we're all different, okay? The next thing is you need to know your goals. Simple as that sounds, guys, we need to know what direction we're headed. What do you want to accomplish this year in different product lines? Like auto, how many raw new auto do you want to write this year? How many life insurance policies do you want to write this year? Fire and umbrella policies, personal articles policies, health insurance policies. Know your goal. But more importantly, that when you have defined your goal, get down to something that you can do every single day that's in your control, that if you do those things, you're gonna hit your goals, right? For example, if you say, Coulter, I wanna write 100 life insurance policies this year, okay? What can we do every single day that if we did it, we'd write 100 life insurance policies as a byproduct? Think about what you can control with life insurance, and that will help you out. But I don't have control whether the customer is going to tell me yes or no, but I do have control if I'm going to bring up life insurance in the first place. So why don't you set a pivot goal? And hang on till the end of this video, and I'm going to share a few different things, a few different action items that you can take away from this that will help you know how to get down to that daily controllable task so that you can hit your goals. Okay? The next thing is, I believe that you need to have strategy, also known as a plan. Okay? You think about some of the greatest leaders, if we think about some of the greatest people in battle, right? Like a Napoleon. Those people were very successful because they had strategy, right? They had a plan. They had a plan of attack of how they were going to defeat the enemy. People in professional sports, right? LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Derek Jeter, just to name some of the greats. These guys, do you guys believe that these guys have strategy? Do you think they have a plan of attack, or are they just going up there and just playing basketball? Or just getting up to the plate and hoping that they connect, right? No, they've got strategy. They've spent time understanding what their strategy, what their plan of attack is, okay? In order for us to manage our day, manage our time, don't you think it's important that we have some sort of strategy that we can follow? That we have some sort of plan of attack, that when we get into the office that day, we know what we're working on, right? A lot of this time management stuff can resolve itself if we would just do a lot of these things, okay? And having a strategy, having some sort of plan is one of them. And in regards to planning, I know that probably most of us are only planning maybe once, maybe twice a year, right? We all plan for fall planning, that we're planning for the next year. My question is, number one, how often have you revisited that plan? But number two, do you feel like things have changed since that plan? Okay? And so planning and strategy is important. I would encourage you to take it a step further. Instead of just planning once a year, try to consider implementing weekly planning, okay? Where you take 20, 30 minutes of your day and you plan for the following week. And in that time, you evaluate last week. You evaluate your efforts through prospecting, through your conversation effectiveness, through your activity, and then you make plans for next week, okay? Being able to have this strategy and plan allows you to manage your time. Make sure you're doing what you need to be doing that's strategic, that if you do it, you're going to get closer to your goals, right? These planning sessions for me every week, it allows me to separate myself from the noise and really look at things and be strategic. Make plans that fit what I'm already doing instead of trying to change everything, but also make adjustments and tweaks that will allow me to be more consistent, that will allow me to spend my time in the most efficient and effective way possible. Consider trying weekly planning, okay? And when you do that weekly plan, if you do it, I would encourage you to reference to that weekly plan at least once a day, okay? Because that will ensure that, yeah, I made all these plans and these great strategies, but that will ensure that you're looking through it and reminding yourself of these great plans that you made. And the last thing around planning is I want you to think about that this really serves as an accountability tool for yourself as well. If you met with yourself every single week and you spent some time reviewing and evaluating last week, and you spent some time making plans for the following week, it's just keeping it top of mind, and it's allowing you to work smarter and not just harder, right? it serves as an accountability tool for yourself. The fourth thing here that I think is important in regards to time management and productivity is understanding what's called Parkinson's law. For those of you that are not familiar with Parkinson's law, it states that for whatever time that we give ourselves to accomplish a task, we are going to use that full time to accomplish that task. Okay? For example, if it's spring and you need to clean out your garage and it's a Friday and you say, you know what, I need to clean out my garage. Tomorrow, Saturday, I'm gonna give myself all day to clean out the garage, all 8 hours of the day. How long do you think that it's gonna take you to clean out your garage if you're giving yourself all day, all 8 hours of the day? Okay, probably all day, right? Now, what if you said, yeah, I need to clean out my garage, but I'm gonna get that done before noon, okay? And now you shrink that time down. Instead of it being 8 hours, maybe it's 2 or 3. How long do you think it's gonna take you to clean your garage? Well, probably 2 or 3 hours, right? Whatever time that we allot for an activity, we generally will take up that full amount of time. Okay, so if you want to get more done quicker, stop giving yourself 8 hours a day to accomplish something. Instead, chunk your day into 2 or 3. Okay, this is a pro tip, something that totally helped me increase and enhance my productivity, and just as a byproduct, do more and be able to mentally sustain doing more. Because sometimes we hear like you just need to have more conversations, but it's hard for our minds to grasp it. What I've found is if we chunk our day into 2 or 3 instead of just one full day, we become more productive. Okay, so for example, if you're a team member, I was a hybrid sales service role. Okay, so I was helping with service, but my primary goal was to sell. Okay, and there's a lot of different things that we can do to sell, which I'm going to cover here in a minute, right? Income producing activities. But what I did is instead of having one 8-hour day, I had about 3 shorter days, okay? Within that one day. For example, day 1 would be from 9 a.m. to noon, okay? Day 2 would be from noon to say 2:30 or 3, okay? And then my third day would be from 2:30 or 3 till 5:30 or 6 o'clock. Now I have 3 days when you have 1. And what happens is when you can connect your goals right here, right? Your goals and this daily activity that you would have defined to each of those days, you start to find yourself being more productive. And so what I started to do is I said, you know what? I want to sell 1 life insurance policy a day. And I know that if in my first day from 9 to noon, if I can find 3 conversations that I can have with people around life insurance, I know that will set me up in a beautiful way and I'll be able to get my remaining 3 for the rest of the day because my goal was 6, right? And what happens is I put on these lens of looking for life insurance opportunities more proactively. And guess what I found just because I was looking for more of it? I found a plethora of life insurance opportunities and I ended up hitting my goals because I chunked my day into smaller days, right? It allowed me to do more with the time that I had. Just a little mental hack for you, okay? But Parkinson's law is whatever time you give yourself to accomplish a task, you will generally take that time, okay? So even as an office, something that we would do as an office is say, you know what? We're gonna try to hit our life insurance goals by the end of August, okay? And then we'll have the rest of the year, everything will be okay, but let's work everything up to where we're gonna accomplish that in 8 months instead of 12 months. And beautiful things start to happen when you do that, okay? So Parkinson's law is important. Understand that, okay? The next thing is just understand what your income producing activities, understand what your income producing activities are. Like what are some activities that if we do them will get us closer to our goals, right? Just to name a few of these, guys, think about this. You're getting leads every single day. Some of those leads are inbound, meaning the prospect, they have filled out some sort of form or they have called your office. They have essentially initiated getting a quote, okay? You've got your inbound leads or you've got your outbound leads. These are people that have not initiated a quote, but you're going to call. So it's like a cold call. Maybe these are old customers that left you guys a couple years back that you're calling back, right? they're not initiating the call, so they're outbound. Okay, so you've got the inbound leads, you've got the outbound leads. Those are income producing activities, right? So if you get in the office, start working on your inbound leads, right? You're getting leads from the company that sends them to you. You might get internet leads. Those are income producing activities, okay? So you've got your inbound leads, you've got your outbound leads. Referrals, are you asking for referrals? Do you have anything in place that allows you to ask for them consistently, and are you asking for them effectively? That's an income producing activity, right? Any of your follow-ups, so people that maybe you have quoted in the past or brought up a coverage or product with that didn't actually buy right then and there. Your follow-ups, that is an income producing activity. Lists, right? You've got current customers that are on your book of business that already trust you. Are you running lists to have some sort of outbound campaign? Like, those are income producing activities. And then the last one, I guess a couple more, your daily interactions with your customers, right? So you've got people that are already calling into your office that want to talk to you, whether it's to pay a bill or to add a vehicle, regardless. They're calling you. Those are income producing activities because you can do what's called. And guys, I want you to challenge that. Oh my gosh, because here's what I hear. If I only had more time to sell, I would, but I'm so bogged down with all of this service work. Guys, for me as a team member, I got to a point where I wanted all of the service that I could get because it was an excuse to talk to someone, okay? And that someone was calling me. So I didn't have to battle with their time and attention because they're already giving it to me because they called me. They've set aside time in their day to talk to me. And what I find as a salesperson is getting someone's attention and keeping it for the duration of my conversation with them has been challenging. You don't run into that as much with these people that are calling into your office every day. So take advantage of those opportunities where you get to talk to people, right? Pivot. I'm telling you, like, that is where you can create a lot of opportunities, but you're not going to create them until you can rewrite that story in your mind that service is not a bottleneck to sales, but service is actually a caveat, like a conduit that will lead me to more sales, right? You've got to get that right first. So then that's the frame that you're looking at your day through, that when these calls come in, instead of you just avoiding it and thinking that's just a waste of time, why don't you be proactive and think about, how can I take care of these people? +1. Take care, +1. When you do that, you will find that you are becoming even more productive and able to manage your time better. The last one that I have not mentioned as far as an income producing activity is appointments, right? Are you running policy review appointments with your current customers? Are you running onboarding appointments with the customers that you just recently wrote 30 days ago? Are you running life insurance issuance appointments with people that you write life insurance policies to? Are you running annual life review appointments, right? Appointments are income producing activities, okay? Now, with these income producing activities, my recommendation is this: do them first. I talk to so many team members that are like, yeah, people don't want to answer the phone until the afternoon, and so I'm going to wait and do those activities then. But what happened, that's okay if the activities get done, and if you're in the spot where you're like, Coulter, I'm getting them done and it's working for me. Kudos, keep going. If it's not broke, don't fix it. But the challenge that I run into is that team members, they're like putting off these income producing activities because, people they're busy at work, it's just not a good time to talk, whatever it is for the reason that you're waiting. If you're gonna wait, just do it. But what I find is people are waiting and they're not actually doing it, and so nothing gets done. For me, I like to do the income producing activities at the very beginning of the day, okay? And so a day for me, I'd get into the office, I'd pull up my email and just scan and prioritize what's important that I need to do now and maybe what's not as important that I can do later. And then I'm right into my income producing activities. I got into the habit where, because I was working on those things early on in the morning, number one, they got done, and I didn't just put them off and hope they get done later on, hope that I have the energy later on to do those things. No, when I have the energy, when I have the time, I'm making the time to do these income producing activities. And what happened is, because I was so consistent with those activities, I started to write policies consistently. I got to a point, because this is how I set up my day, where I'm doing income producing activities first, I got to a point where I was writing a life insurance policy every single day before noon, most days, okay? Beautiful things start to happen when we put what's important first, okay? What are your priorities? Are you there to just talk to people and make sure that they're okay and service them? Or are you there to sell policies? And I get that you might be doing both, but what are you there for? If you're listening to this, I'm sure that you're trying to get better at sales. Like you are in a sales role. So why are you working on service stuff when you're in a sales role? Like work on sales stuff, especially early on in the day. That is a hack. If you want to make sure it gets done, do it first thing. Stop waiting till the afternoon to do it, okay? Now, if you want to take it to an even better level, higher level than that, do it in the morning and in the afternoon. Use time blocking, right? We've been taught that. And a lot of times for me as a team member, I don't know what it was, but I would think, oh yeah, I'm going to time block. And I'd only block in chunks of an hour, right? Oh, Coulter, you're going to call on this list for an hour. Guys, I don't know about you, but I try to get in there. I'm like 15 minutes in and I'm like, holy crap, I got to do 45 minutes more of this thing? It was hard for me to sustain. And so I just reworked it for myself. And instead of hour time blocks, I started to go to 30-minute time blocks and down to 20 and 15. But I would do more of them frequently throughout the day, which allowed me to just, as a byproduct, be more productive because it's hard for me to stay engaged for a longer period of time, but it's easier for a shorter period of time, okay? The next couple of things here. The Eisenhower matrix. The Eisenhower matrix is an incredible prioritization tool. It's just an easy way to basically organize the activities that you do throughout your day based on what's important and urgent versus what's not important and not urgent, okay? So there's 4 quadrants within this Eisenhower matrix. The first top left quadrant is the quadrant where things that are important and urgent, okay? And I want you to think about your specific role because what's important and urgent for a salesperson is going to be different than what's important and urgent for a service person. Service and sales, right? They're different, okay? Because the service and keeping the service off of the salespeople's desks, that is important and urgent if you're a service person. Whereas the service for a salesperson is important, but is it necessarily urgent, or at least urgent for you, or important for you? If your goal and your primary role is to sell, then it's probably not, right? So the first one is what is urgent and what is important. These are the things that you want to do now. These are the things that you want to make sure that you do every single day. Now, if you're a salesperson, I hope you're catching on to this, but income producing activities lie within this quadrant. These are the things that you want to do, okay? These are your non-negotiables that if you do them, you're going to what? You're going to hit your goals, okay? So that's the first thing. The next quadrant, these are things that are important, but not necessarily urgent. These are things that you're going to maybe schedule. So if you look in the morning, you get into the office and you pull up your email and you've got some underwriting emails in there, but you've got a couple weeks to get that done. These are things that you want to schedule. Instead of just jumping right into that and spending the next 30 minutes to an hour wasting your time and energy on that, when your primary goal here is to sell your income producing activities, schedule that out. Put it on your calendar for later and don't waste your time and energy on that right now. Schedule it. It's not urgent, but it is important. It needs to get done, but it doesn't need to get done right now, okay? Now, the third quadrant, these are going to be things that are urgent, like they need to get done quickly, but they are not important, at least to your role, okay? So if there's an immediate service issue, but you're a salesperson, guess what we want to do with this thing? You don't want to do it because it's taking away time from what? Your income producing activities, but it still needs to get done like it's urgent. What we can do with these things is delegate, right? Get it to your service person if that is their role. Stop wasting time on those things that are taking all this time away from you to do income producing activities. And then the last quadrant, these are going to be things that are not urgent and they're not important, okay? And what we want to do with these things is we want to delete them. We want to get rid of them, okay? So maybe here's what I would challenge each of you to do. I want you to pull up your phone and I want you to go to screen time. And I want you to just see What is your daily average of screen time? A lot of you are saying, Coulter, I just don't have time. Look, that number, I guarantee you that surprised you. You're on your phone more than you think you are. And as a team member, I get it. Not every day is back-to-back phone calls, right? You're gonna have some downtime. But what are you doing with that downtime? A lot of you are probably on your phone scrolling through social media, right? And even if it's 15 minutes here and there, maybe it adds up to 3 hours of your working day. Those are some things that we can delete, that we can get rid of. So what I want you to do, and what I would encourage you to do rather, is go look up the Eisenhower matrix, spend some time and just brain dump all of the activities that you do on a day-to-day basis as a team member. I take payments, I change out vehicles, I quote new business, I call on these lists. Write down everything that you do and then organize it into these quadrants. What are the things that are urgent for me and important? These are things that I want to do now. What are things for me that are not urgent but are important? Okay, these are things that I want to schedule. What are things that are not important but urgent? These are the things I want to delegate. And what are the things that are not important and not urgent? These are the things I want to get rid of. Okay, stop doing those things because it's taking up all my time. When you do that, you're going to be able to identify quickly what you're working on right now that maybe is just taking up a lot of your time that's actually not moving the needle for you, but also you're going to be able to identify what you're not doing that you could start doing that could actually move the needle quicker for you in that way. Okay? It's just a great way to conceptualize all of the things that you do on a day-to-day basis and prioritize what's most important down to what's least important for you in your specific role. Okay? Okay. The seventh thing here is I just want you to think about this, service, okay? Service pivots. Because I just got done talking to you about this Eisenhower matrix and that if you're not a service person, why are you working on service tasks? But I don't want you to take it too far, okay? Because one of the biggest things that you can do to get more out of the time that you have in your day is just simply pivoting to different products with your current customers that you get to talk with every day. So if someone calls in to make a payment, can you pivot and create an opportunity for yourself?